In the silence of the void, where shadows linger and the mist never clears, your deepest fears begin to take shape. Welcome to a realm beyond sleep, a place where every whisper is a warning and every dream becomes a trap. Close your eyes if you dare, but you can never truly hide from what waits in the dark. The mist is calling. This is the threshold of the unknown, where the boundary between reality and nightmare dissolves into nothingness. Sinister dreams and nightmares. The shadows are watching your every move. Do you feel them closing in? Are you ready to face the darkness? Your nightmare begins now. The moment the federal SUV rolled up, Detective Francois felt a shift in the air like the temperature dropped 10 degrees. Black suburban, government plates, tinted windows, not FBI, not ATF, not anyone who belonged in a normal homicide investigation. The door opened and a woman stepped out tall, sharp-featured, hair pulled back tight, wearing a charcoal suit that didn't belong in New Orleans humidity. She flashed a badge so fast Francois barely caught the lettering. Not FBI, not DHES, something older, something blacker. She walked straight toward him, ignoring the uniforms, ignoring the barricades, ignoring the body staged on the bench like a grotesque art piece. Detective Donald Francois. Her voice was calm, too calm. Francois didn't offer a handshake, you are. She held up the badge again, slower this time. Special Agent Mara Kincaid, National Anomalous Threat Response Unit. Francois raised an eyebrow. Never heard of it. She gave a thin smile. You're not supposed to. She stepped past him, crouching beside the body. Her eyes scanned the open chest cavity, the missing heart, the black residue shaped into a symbol. No shock, no disgust, no hesitation. She'd seen this before. Francois folded his arms. You want to tell me why a federal agent from a ghost agency is showing up at my crime scene? Kincaid stood, brushing off her gloves. Because you're dealing with something you can't handle alone. Francois jaw tightened. Try me. Kincaid stepped closer, lowering her voice. What you're hunting isn't human. It hasn't been for a long time. Francois didn't blink. The witness said it climbed the cathedral like a spider. Kincaid nodded. It's called arachniform entity, humanoid, predatory, parasitic. It feeds on cardiac tissue and drains blood to prevent clotting. Francois stared at her. You're telling me a Spider-Man monster is killing people in my city? Kincaid didn't flinch. Not a monster. A classified biological threat. One that escaped containment 6 days ago. Francois stepped forward, voice low and dangerous. You lost it. Kincaid met his eyes. We didn't lose it, detective. She glanced at the symbol smeared in black residue. It was looking for you. Francois froze. His scar twitched. Why me? Kincaid exhaled the first sign of tension she'd shown. Because 5 years ago you were the lead investigator on a case involving a missing child. A case that was quietly shut down. A case with the same signature. Francois felt the world tilt. He remembered that case. He remembered the body they never found. He remembered the nightmares. Kincaid continued, the creature imprints on anyone who gets close to discovering it. It marks them, and it always comes back to finish the job. Francois swallowed hard. So what you're saying is Kincaid nodded. Detective. It's hunting you.
Houma, Louisiana. Midnight. When the moon turns red, the swamp remembers the sins of men. He wasn't lost. He wasn't running from something in the dark. He was running from himself. Lord, please, not tonight. The curse doesn't knock. It crawls. In Houma, they say the Loup-garou doesn't choose you. It claims you. Somebody gonna die tonight. He wasn't threatening. He was warning. The Loup-garou hunts what it loves first. What it remembers, they found her groceries. They found her shoes. They didn't find her. Blood moon, it happened again. He remembered everything, every scream, every tear, every sin. Lord, why me? Some curses are born in blood, some are born in sin, and some are born in the prayers God never answered. In Houma, when the moon bleeds, the devil doesn't come from hell, he comes from the water. Sinister dreams.
Before the 5 fugitives ever set foot in the valley, before they dug their pit, before they tried to bury their crimes. The land already remembered another horror. The valley was once home to a small indigenous community, a peaceful band who lived along the river, fished its waters, and tended the land with a reverence the newcomers never understood. They called the valley the place where the spirits walk softly. It was sacred ground, a place of balance, a place where the living and the ancestors shared the same breath. But in the winter of 1809, long before Mayfair existed, a group of armed settlers driven by greed and fear descended on the village. They claimed the people were in the way, they claimed the land was unused, they claimed the valley belonged to no one. History has seen this pattern too many times. It happened just before dawn. The settlers attacked while the village slept, fires lit the sky, children cried, elders prayed, and by sunrise the valley was silent. The survivors, few and wounded, fled into the forest, carrying only their grief and the ashes of their home. But the land did not forget. The valley absorbed the blood, the screams, the betrayal, the desecration of sacred ground, and something ancient stirred, not a spirit of vengeance, not a demon, not a monster, something older, something that rises when balance is broken. When the five fugitives arrived 2 years later, they felt the valley's silence and mistook it for safety. They didn't know the soil was already wounded, already grieving, already watching. When they dug their pit and buried their sins, they didn't create the wanderer. They fed it. Their crimes were the spark, but the land's old wound was the tinder. The wanderer is not just their guilt made flesh. It is the valley's grief, twisted by the sins of the living, given shape by the sins of the dead. A creature born from stolen land, broken balance, unburied wrongs, and the echo of a people who were never mourned. The indigenous people believed the valley was a place where the spirits of loved ones could still be heard softly, gently guiding the living. But after the slaughter, that gift was corrupted. The wanderer twists those echoes. It steals the voices of the dead. It uses them as bait. It turns love into a weapon, because the land remembers the night when love was silenced.
Wind moans through the broken, stained glass windows of St. Brigid's. Moonlight spills across the ruined pews like a spotlight on a crime scene. John Day wakes on the cold stone floor, bleeding, bruised, and half-conscious. His first thought isn't fear, it's disappointment. Not again. The poltergeists swirl above him, translucent, furious, vibrating the air like a hive of hornets made of grief. A podium slams into the ground where his head was a second ago. He rolls, groaning, pushing himself to his knees. "I'm too old for this," he mutters. He's 38, but tonight he feels 80. John Day used to be a priest, used to wear the collar, used to believe the church would stand behind him, until he performed an unauthorized exorcism on a child. He saved the kid, but the church saved face, excommunicated, erased, forgotten. But the darkness didn't forget him. He crawls toward his coat, the one thing he never gave up, and pulls out a dented metal canister. Bear spray mixed with holy water. A sin to some, a miracle to others. A Tuesday to John Day. The air drops 10 degrees. The candles gutter. The ghosts scream a sound like metal tearing underwater. A pew lifts off the ground and hurls toward him. John dives behind the altar. It explodes into splinters. He coughs, wipes blood from his mouth, and whispers a prayer he hasn't said in years. "Lord, I know we're not on speaking terms, but I could use a little help." The ghosts answer with another scream. "Didn't think so." He pops up from behind the altar and unleashes a blast of holy water bear spray. The mist hits the first ghost, and it shrieks, its form flickering like a dying light bulb. John grins. Daddy's home. He charges, spraying in wide arcs, forcing the spirits back. But something is wrong. They aren't attacking randomly. They're hurting him, pushing him toward the back of the church, toward the old confessional, the one that burned down 20 years ago, the one tied to the child he saved. The ghosts swirl tighter, forming a vortex around the charred confessional. John's breath catches. Inside the swirling mass, a small silhouette, a child-sized shape. No, it can't be. He steps closer, heart pounding. The poltergeists scream louder, trying to push him back. He pushes forward anyway. "Let me see him." The vortex parts, and there he is, Eli. The boy John saved, the boy the church abandoned, The boy who died anyway, not from possession, but from the aftermath? Eli's ghost looks up at him with hollow, glowing eyes. Father Day, you left me? John drops to his knees. No, Eli. I tried. You left me. The boy repeats, voice layered with 100 whispering spirits. John's throat tightens. This is why the ghosts brought him here. Not to kill him, to judge him. To force him to face the one sin he never forgave himself for. He lowers his head. I failed you. I failed everyone. But I'm here now, and I'm not running. The church trembles. The spirits scream. Eli steps forward, then free us. John stands, battered but resolute. He grips the canister of holy water bear spray like a knight gripping a sword. He begins the rite of liberation, a forbidden exorcism prayer he memorized long before he was cast out. The ghosts lash out, hurling debris, clawing at his skin, trying to silence him. He keeps praying. A pew slams into his back. He stumbles but doesn't fall. A chandelier crashes beside him. He shields his face but keeps chanting. The spirits scream in agony as the prayer grows stronger. Eli's ghost flickers, his form unraveling. Father Day, it hurts. John's voice cracks. I know, son, but you'll be free soon. He sprays the vortex, the mist glowing like liquid sunlight. The ghosts ignite in white fire, not burning, but cleansing. One by one, they dissolve into drifting motes of light. Eli is the last. He looks up at John, eyes softening. Thank you. Then he fades. The church falls silent. John collapses to his knees, sobbing for the first time in years. When he finally stands, dawn is breaking through the shattered windows. Warm light spills across the ruined altar. John limps outside, every muscle screaming. His motorcycle waits by the front steps, a beat-up black cruiser with a cracked headlight, and a rosary wrapped around the handlebars. He swings a leg over, wincing. The engine growls to life. He takes one last look at St. Brigid's. The ghosts are gone. Eli is free, and for the first time in a long time, John Day feels forgiven. He pulls onto the empty road. The rising sun paints the sky gold and crimson. John grips the throttle. All right, he mutters. Who's next? He rides off toward the horizon, dust trailing behind him, the sun rising at his back, a fallen priest, a ghost hunter, a man with nothing left to lose and everything left to fight for. John Day rides on.
The woman at the bar. Some places don't close. Not because they're busy, but because the people inside have nowhere else left to be. Tonight, it was just him, a man in his 40s, carrying the kind of years that settle into your bones. When life doesn't go the way you thought it would. He sat alone, staring into a drink that had long stopped helping. And then, she sat beside him. A soft sound of a chair sliding, barely audible. No one saw her enter. No door opened. No shadow stretched across the floor. She simply was. Her smile wasn't flirtation. It wasn't kindness. It was recognition, like she'd been waiting for him specifically. When he finally met her eyes, time hesitated. Everything freezes. The hum cuts out, the fan stops, silence drops like a curtain. The bartender froze mid-wipe. The ceiling fan hung still. Even the dust in the air stopped drifting. And in that impossible stillness, she fed. Not on blood, not on flesh, but on the quiet things people forget they're carrying. She drew from him the weight of old regrets, the years he wasted, the dreams he buried, the moments he never claimed. He felt lighter. He felt older. He felt emptied. And just like that, it was over. Time snaps back. The bar noise returns abruptly. She stood, her smile softening into something almost merciful. You'll be all right, she whispered. I only take what you don't need anymore. Her footsteps fade. The bar returns to normal, unaware anything happened. But creatures like her, they don't hunt the living. They hunt the unlived, the years you waste, the moments you never reach for, the pieces of yourself you let slip away. And if you ever feel time skip, if a stranger's smile lingers too long, if the world pauses for just a heartbeat, you might not be losing your mind, you might be losing yourself. This has been Sinister Dreams, and to all the fathers out there, the strong ones, the tired ones, the ones still trying. Happy Father's Day from Sinister Dreams. Sleep lightly,